Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Hedera and HBAR. So let's just dive in and let's start with the overall price action. So, short term, I do want to ask all of you out there that do hold HBAR, where do you believe HBAR is going to go in the short term? I know that a lot of people are waiting for 3 cents, a lot of people are waiting for 1 cent. Some people think that we are going down to about like 4 cents, then all of a sudden we're bouncing back. I just want to hear everybody's thoughts, especially with the token unlock and the negative sort of FUD that is being spread out there that is talking about like how HBAR is about to crash severely, which, hey, is that a possibility? 100%. But nonetheless, within crypto today, we're seeing a sea of red. Even before the indice opening, I am recording this at about almost 7 a.m. The indices did not open yet. The dollar is not trading full yet, but we know that the dollar has been locally topping out. I haven't really looked at the dollar yet today in value, but I do know that the indices will definitely help it move to either the upside or the downside. But with that, right, we still see crypto tied to equities. We still see crypto, playing along with what the dollar is doing. And with all of that, we still see a negative capital flow right now within crypto. We're still down on the 24-hour span on most assets. We're still seeing some green, but for the most part, this is what we see in crypto today. Most of the top 25 is down negative. On the 7-day span, we still see some green, but again, for the most part, we see double-digit figure losses on a lot of these tokens. So as we do focus on the sea of red within crypto, we're mainly waiting for the dollar to decide what it's really going to be doing. Again, a lot of people think that the dollar is going to continue crashing. It's questionable on what's going to happen next with that. But today we're going to be talking about why I believe everyone should be holding some sort of HBAR amount in their portfolio, and also why Hedera should not be ignored at all. We're going to be starting with all-time high transactional flow. So transactions are definitely starting to pick up on Hedera. That is no surprise. I mean, we've been mentioning this for a while, but we did hit new all-time highs for Hedera transactions per day, 61 million, as you guys do see down here on Dragon Glass. Real transactions as well. Nothing like this has been seen in crypto. It's becoming extremely hard to ignore the giant that is Hedera. And shout out to HBAR to the moon. And when we do look at the transactional flow, I mean, listen, we are starting to see a large amount of transactions. I mean, in the 1 hour span, we're transacting more than most of these other networks out there. In a 1 month span, hitting 1.2 billion transactions. If you've seen this on any other network, people would be going absolutely crazy. Last 3 months, we've seen over 2.27 billion transactions. And hey, guess what? All of these transactions started to really start moving on January 13th. So technically speaking, it's not even a full 3 months. But if you did see this, if you've seen things like this on any other network, the world of crypto would be going absolutely crazy. Like I said, this is why I do believe that Hedera is still sort of, just completely ignored. It's basically in the shadows still. But I do think that people are starting to realize what Hedera is doing. I think that it's going to be, a focus point going forward as well. We basically just have to sit back and wait for the general public to catch up to what Hedera is actually doing. And I think that that will happen eventually. But we are hitting all-time highs in terms of transactional flow. Transactions are going crazy on the network. That's no surprise at all. We've talked about the report, though. We talked about how we still need a large amount of network growth still, because the transactional fee to utilize the network on Hedera is very, very low. It's a very efficient cost for any major project or enterprise or company, etc., to utilize the Hedera network, which makes it very lucrative, which I also say is going to equal mass adoption. So right now, as we do look at the transactional flow, although it definitely is impressive, it is just the beginning. But we are starting to move extremely fast. I mean, recently we just hit 4 billion transactions back in February 13th. And so far already we're nearing the 5 billion area. Even if you go over to Hedera transactions, so if we go over to Hedera transactions right now, you could see that we are nearing the 5 billion area. This tweet was posted by Benny H. Barbarian over on Twitter. This got posted at 8:52 p.m. yesterday. It is currently 7 a.m. This was sitting at about 4.83 billion transactions. We are at 4.85 billion transactions already. This is moving extremely fast. I would be surprised if we weren't at 5 billion transactions by the end of this week. So with that, right, we're continuing to make monumental movements within transactional demand and mainnet demand. This is very, very good. And this is just off of one enterprise grade use case. Hedera will boast many more enterprise grade use cases on the network. And also, terms of recognition, right? If we are talking about a lot more people looking at Hedera and what Hedera is actually doing, these events like ETH Denver are great for that. The recognition behind Hedera, I do believe, is only going to continue to grow and grow and grow. By the time that the next bull run starts, if you follow the 4-year cycle, if you follow this, whatever, we know that Hedera is going to become a leading name. We know that Hedera is one that is doing things completely different compared to what other projects are doing. This is also why I believe that when we do see regulations come into the space and there's only a few projects left over, I do think that Hedera is also going to be one of those projects that are here shining amongst the rest of the utility gems. So when we look at that, by the next cycle, things could look extremely different. But there's one thing that is certain in my mind: Hedera will be here. When we look at Hedera, it is a 100-year company. That's their main goal. Their entire goal was to create a 100-year company that was focused on the biggest disruptions around the world within technological advancements. Hedera is helping strong corporations, companies, businesses, etc. Become net zero with carbon emissions. They are also helping change these industries and disrupt these industries through digitization and tokenization. They are becoming the trust layer of the Web3 world. And the Web3 world is growing every single day with a projected value of $140 trillion at its all-time high peaks. So if you think about that, a market that is projected to be $140 trillion with crypto's all-time high back in November of 2021 topping at $3 trillion, where do you believe things are headed going forward? Interesting. When we take a look at social volume as well, though, with these events, with these conferences, with these big, meetings, the community around Hedera continues to grow. The last time that we looked at Hedera, they were nearing like the I think it was like 300 million follower tab on Twitter. We're almost hitting that 300. Did I say 300 million? Sorry, 300,000 followers amount, and we're sitting at 292.1k followers right now. So we are still seeing a lot of community engagement on Hedera's Twitter. They continue to make a lot of noise. They continue to be extremely active on Twitter as well. If you guys look at the booth at ETH Denver, you can see that this was a very busy event. There's a lot of players there. There was a lot of big individuals there as well. There's a lot of engagement through the community, which is very, very good. I love to see this because it is crucial for the success of any project, and I've always made this clear on this channel that these social events are huge. And we could actually see that social engagement on HBAR's side is actually doing very good. Zepsi has been focused on this for a while, and if you scroll up, you could see where he started to post about this back in February 24th, where he made this initial post talking about the engagement on HBAR side, it was well above Algo, Link, DAG. And also down here, we did hit a significant level of social engagement, topping out at over 200 million social engagements. Now we're sitting at about 128.9 million. This is well above what Algorand is doing. And also, when we take a look at Algo or any other projects within like the top, 50, we are really ahead of the game on most of these. And some of these projects are projects that topped out well in the almost $100 billion market cap area, which is crazy to me. But also, how can't you see that HBAR engagement is going to continue to skyrocket when you have announcements after announcements from the HBAR Foundation about community growth? And some of these are like the biggest events and the biggest announcements that we have seen within crypto. Web3, Hedera is focused on accelerating the Web3 push. This is a continuous update that we continue to get from the HBAR Foundation about them partnering and building with significant Web3 focused brands that are opening the door of opportunities for major innovation to happen within India, within areas like India. India, a leading name and pioneer around technology. They want to become a major crypto hub as well. And how are they going to do this? Well, we need projects that are going to accelerate Web3 development and also opportunity. And this is one of those big announcements that we did talk about recently back in last week. But also with this, we've seen other announcements that Hedera continues to expand on the mainnet with huge, significant pushes with, for example, YPay. And this is a big push. So a lot of these, and what we do see from Hedera's side and the HBAR Foundation side, is continuous ecosystem development and expansion. And this is only going to continue and continue and continue with all of the huge use cases still left to go fully live on the Hedera network. I really do believe that going into the next major cycle with announcements like DeFi on Hedera continuing to boast massive numbers, and we do continue to see the DeFi offering on Hedera upgrading their websites, upgrading their offering, making sure that their offering is as, UI like they really cater to the user experience. Whenever we do see like DeFi opportunities, like this is a very clean UI, very simple, very straightforward. And when we look at what these DeFi offerings are doing on Hedera and their products, it's extremely high quality. So if we continue to see expansion of the network, we continue to see a lot of ecosystemal growth, and we also see significant areas of opportunity like DeFi growing and expanding rapidly on Hedera, there is no doubt in my mind that going into the next major bull run, going into the next major run itself, whatever that is and whenever that is, I do believe that Hedera is going to become a leading name. Do I think that's going to be a top 10 token? 100%. Do I think that's going to be in the top 5? It's questionable. I do think that HBAR long term, though, will be a top 5 token. I think that it's going to be a token that will be around for a very, very long time. They are really hitting the nail on every head whenever they, talk about becoming a 100-year company. They are already ahead of most. Security, speed, cost, and like their sustainability in terms of their energy usage, like everything that we've seen around crypto and DLT becoming a problem globally outside of crypto, Hedera has solved. Hedera is that name that has solved every single inefficiency around crypto. That is what gives me the confidence that Hedera will be a 100-year company. And in the short term, yeah, there's going to be a lot of FUD, there's going to be a lot of negativity, but I don't believe that any of that long term will matter, because long term we will see the future Amazons and Apple and Google, etc. of the world rising through regulations and through proper adoption of crypto technology. And I do think that Hedera is going to be one of those names. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this, because definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on for more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. It's up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. If you guys are on this world, it's been Nick. Peace out, guys.